Hello, everyone. JP here from the previous CC admin team and now Governance Guild, presenting the closeout report for Power Up the Catalyst Circle, a Fund 6 proposal in distributed decision making with a budget of $9,500. So, in this presentation, I'm going to go what is the Catalyst Circle? What was the proposal about? What did we set out to achieve? What were we measuring? How did we do? And the lessons learned. So what is Catalyst Circle? Well, Catalyst Circle is Cardano's first experiment in community governance and is designed to explore and support the transition of decision-making authority from IOG to the community. The Catalyst Circle is a community body composed of elected and appointed representatives from each of the key stakeholder groups. And this, don't forget, was in Fund 6. So there has been some changes with the current iteration of the Catalyst Circle. But previously it was community advisors, general aid holders, funded proposals, tool makers and maintainers, and stake pool operators, as well as 2 appointed seats from IOG, Input Output, and the Cardano Foundation. So what was this proposal about? Well, it was designed and funded to support a new cohort of elected Catalyst Circle reps from the identified key functional groups within the ecosystem. And it focused on the transition of members from CCV1 to CCV2, remuneration for both CC cohorts, and the addition of 1 secretary and 1 facilitator to the previous CC admin team. So what did we set out to achieve? Well, we wanted to facilitate communication between the different functional groups. We wanted to provide a heads up when red lines were crossed within a certain group. It was also to suggest improvements on plans and processes that shape Project Catalyst, and really to help define the election process for the CCV2 that was elected. So what were we measuring? Well, first, the circle was measuring the number of problems raised by the community during the problem sensing stage. And then they looked at the number of solutions brought up for the prioritized problems in the previous phase. And then they looked at the number of successful solutions that were implemented for those problems, the number of lessons learned documents generated from unsuccessful proposals. Well, in total, the members funded by this proposal attended a total of 6 circle meetings, and all the meetings were documented by Catalyst Circle Oversight and Quality Assurance DAO. And then following CCV2 induction, there was a total of 5 working meetings that were held, and the documentation can be found at these links. So how do we do? Well, the number of problems raised by the community during the problem sensing stage, as you can see, it was diverse depending on the actual community that was being represented. So while stake pool operators and the Cardano Foundation were minimal, you can see that community advisors and tool makers and maintainers were kind of leading with the amount of problems that were sensed. And this could be just given the organization and coordination of these groups when compared to others, but we didn't really dive into the reason why. So how did we do? Well, again, so with the number of solutions that were brought up, of the totals raised, of the total problems raised, there were 11 solutions. And the number of solutions that made it to implementation was 3. And so this included prototyping, testing, and implementation. And the number of lessons learned documents generated from unsuccessful proposals, well, unfortunately, there were no formal documents created. This screen here just gives you a sense of what the problem sensing board looked like at the time that this proposal was going on. And as you can see, people were tagged, groups were tagged, and it moved across from a backlog all the way to picked up and ready to be implemented. So how did we do? Well, in addition to the KPI measurements that I listed previously, the CCV2 was also successful in delivering improved processes and tooling for circle member engagement, improved cross-collaboration across all functional groups, both within the circle meetings and through working meetings that were self-initiated by the reps, an improved system for electing the next circle version members, and 2 successful governance proposals that were submitted in Fund 7. So CC admin team, we were able to achieve success beyond just the remuneration in the following ways. We acquired 2 new facilitators and secretaries, improved the processes for meeting facilitation and meeting documentation, supported the development of election of CCV2, successfully implemented and finalized the elections for CCV2 members, and then onboarded the 7 new CCV2 members. So what lessons learned? Well, the circle and the admin team couldn't be sustained on volunteerism. The form of community governance needs to be remunerated in a fair and equitable manner. And this was one of the last funds that saw the CC admin team in the iteration that it was here. I think it lasted 2 more funds and then branched away from the circle, given the fact that there was a heavy reliance on volunteerism and really no sort of support for the administrative responsibilities other than submitting additional proposals, which didn't necessarily always capture the value proposition by the community. Catalyst representatives require targeted onboarding sessions. So it's good to have a general welcome, but then to actually go through to understand what the work entails and how to deliver on that work required additional sessions that needed to be held. And then again, kind of to my earlier point that really not only CCV2 members and the CC admin team were minimally funded, but they were putting in significantly more time than the 2 hours per week. And so for CCV2, there was a discussion to increase it to 10 hours per week, given the overtime that was being done and just not captured. And then we really saw that the 3-month term was insufficient for circle members, given the steep learning curve. And lastly, that 1 secretary and 1 facilitator for the amount of work that the circle required was insufficient. So that's it. Thank you very much and look forward to seeing you in a future fund.